Hey everybody, welcome back to the It's Pizza Time podcast. I'm your host iNDiGO, and I'm joined by my co-host Victor.
Hi, you can call me LUCIUS.
All right, my co-host LUNAH.
Hey, I'm John. You can call me LUNAH.
Wow, I already messed that up. Okay.
It's okay.
And I'm here with a special guest, Pizooki,
Hey, what's up, everyone? Yeah, my name is Pizooki. You can call me Jarrett, though.
and special guest G WIZZ.
What's up, guys? G WIZZ. You can call me Gianni, though. Happy to be here.
All right, sick. That was already a rough intro to begin with.
Okay.
Super smooth.
It's a natural,
smooth,
organic
smooth.
intro.
Natural.
Yeah, I liked
yes.
it. I liked it.
Natural and organic. All right.
Unedited.
Okay.
It showed the real side. It showed the real side of this, you know?
All right. So to start off, do you guys want to introduce yourselves a little more in depth? Give us a little bit of what it is you do or anything like that. Anything you need to address.
Yeah, Jarrett, you want to go
WIZZ.
first?
Oh.
You started, Jarrett.
Yeah, okay. All right, no, for sure. Yeah, so I go by Pizooki. I guess biggest things to kind of address on my, I guess my brand and what I've kind of been doing is that I'm definitely someone that wants to kind of bring this newfound love and light for music in the fact that I want everyone to feel like they have a home and a place that they can run to and turn to. The Pizooki brand itself, that I kind of foresee is kind of this this place that everyone's trying to get to, and we're all coming from unique, different backgrounds, and but that's what makes us beautiful. And that I think people that want to follow the Pizooki brand is more of a culture and more of a community of people that are trying to be the best versions of themselves and accepting the world as they are and trying to help build each other up. And that's kind of the overall goal for the brand. For me, myself, my music is kind of it's kind of a whirlwind because it comes from all over, and I kind of make a little bit of everything. And I do kind of Pizooki is the overall artist brand, the umbrella brand, and then I kind of have my own personal pop projects and stuff like that as well. So that's kind of where I guess I'm at currently with my state. Yeah.
That was nice. That's a very in-depth explanation. I'll tell you. That's definitely a win. All right. Gianni, you wanna explain what it is you do?
Yeah, definitely. So, I was a tennis player my whole life, played in college at TCU, and then when I was about 15, I started DJing, got my first little controller, and then I just started playing a bunch of shows, and I was really fortunate to open up for some really cool people like Adventure Club and Audion and some different things. And I was like, this is really inspiring. I want to be a producer, and I want to kind of take it to the next level and make this a career. So I decided then to go to Icon, and I graduated there at the end of 2019, and then just been working on releasing music. And then I'm currently just working at Prodigy right now, helping out with some different artists like Company and Effin and Crank That. But honestly, trying to release music. I have a few mixes and some different things coming out, but also
I'm so
spent some
stoked for
time
that.
working on Sidewalk with Jarrett too, and that's where we kind of met each other, and some different events, meeting Marco that way too.
All right, hell yeah. That's okay. That's definitely good. That's a really good intro for both of you guys. Probably better than I could expect from really anyone. I definitely could
Appreciate
pull that
that,
off
man.
myself.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you.
So I'm gonna start with the opening question that I do give every guest that comes on here. What's your go-to pizza flavor? What's your go-to?
Johnny, you got one?
There's not really a wrong answer.
Did we lose him? Okay, so I mean, all right. I don't know if we lost Johnny. I guess I'm definitely someone that doesn't mind a plain cheese, but this is gonna sound super bougie, but it's people are calling it a Mediterranean one, but I don't know if that's the actual word. But I like chicken, artichoke, spinach, tomato, and then you put some balsamic vinegar on it, and it is fuego. I'm telling you, it is one of the greatest pizzas I've ever had.
That sounds pretty interesting, actually. I might need to try that.
Yeah.
Dude, it's bomb. I'll have to send you that. I'm not kidding.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm
Well, I may
excited.
be the first guy on this podcast to be allergic to dairy. So I can't really have. I've had pizza with marinara sauce and grilled chicken, but without the cheese. But for the most part, I haven't really had a true pizza. So I'm hoping one day I can maybe get around that and try pizza.
Can I quit music and go into the field of like developing the thing that will cure that allergy for you?
Yeah,
so
I just
can make sure
need
you get
you
pizza?
to make. That would be awesome. I would love that, and I can just try all these amazing things like chocolate and milk and.
Yeah, I think
And then
I think I need to do
have
that for
it,
you.
bring it on the Pizza Time show. We could do a video and like all just be
Right.
chilling, eating some dairy.
Eating some dairy.
I'm wondering if there are any dairy-free pizzas. I wonder if that's
Right? Is that a
There
thing?
probably
I have
are.
heard, yeah, I've heard of
I-
some like that they use some different types of cheese that don't technically have
yeah.
dairy, but I'm still confused how the cheese doesn't have it. But
I know
I don't
there's,
know.
like,
I think I need to spend some more
vegan-
time.
Can
looking
you
into
trust
it?
it?
Yeah.
Can we trust
I
that?
know.
that's true.
I used to
Maybe if
work
I have
in.
an EpiPen.
I used to work in a pizza place actually. Like
Oh.
funny enough, before I started It's Pizza Time, so It's Pizza Time has lasted longer than my entire pizza making career.
Oh, okay.
but
Wow.
we did have a vegan pizza choice, which was like
So how does that work?
I
Yeah,
think
how
it's
was
like
it?
I think it's like the
Cauliflower
cheese is made with
crust?
like I think the cheese is made with like soy milk and
Okay.
yeah, there's also like cauliflower crusts and stuff like that. So it's like
Ah,
the,
okay.
like the dough's different and all that. So it's like yeah, I'm pretty sure you can find something.
Did you get to try it?
I did not. I'm not usually one to hop on like the vegan option if that is an option. You know, I'm usually more like just go for like the real thing. But
Yeah. Wait,
All right,
what
Marco.
is
Maybe we
your
can go
favorite
get it
pizza?
then.
all right,
For sure.
that seems like a plan. So let's fucking do it.
Yeah. Marco,
Um,
what's your favorite pizza? I gotta know.
ooh,
Yeah, I'm
man.
curious too. What's the Pizza Time guy's favorite pizza?
Yeah.
That's a tough choice. There's the restaurant I worked at. It was a restaurant that I'd been going to since I was like 10 years old or something. So
Mhm.
I was like really fixated on their menu. They had this one slice which was like the rigatoni, which was called the rigatoni, which was
Rigatoni.
it was like dough. It was it's like standard like New York style pizza dough with like ricotta cheese and then
Ooh.
like cooked rigatoni noodles on top of it, and then it was like marinara sauce drizzled on top of that. So there wasn't marinara
Damn.
underneath the ricotta. There was marinara over the ricotta.
That's
It's like-
crazy.
That sounds like a dream. Oh my god.
It like it's very confusing, but like you try it and you're like, whoa, that's something.
I 100% believe you worked at a pizza shop
Oh yeah.
with that
it's-
answer.
It's kind of strange. Like I think that's why I wanted to work into I think like It's Pizza Time was like the reason I wanted to work in like a pizza joint, because you know it's
Wait, Marco, how did that even get started? Did you create that before you worked at the pizza shop, right?
yeah, I answered this on I think I'm gonna have to answer this with every guest episode. But I started it initially because like backstory, our high school campus had a like a wild squirrel that just lived on campus and that everybody knew it.
Squirrel.
Then someone made a Instagram account for the squirrel, and it wasn't someone that I necessarily got along with. She didn't, or rather, she didn't like me. So I was like, how could and like I knew she ran this account while she tried to stay anonymous, and I'm like, how could I like mess with her but like also like get on everybody else's good side? So that's like was where that initially was born. But like I started doing that, and then like people were like, hey, could you this is funny, could you do this to my account as well? And then like I had a bunch of people like asking me to do it on their accounts, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna like go through specific accounts, I'm just gonna start doing it to my entire feed. And
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I just kept rolling with it because like people started like really liking it. Like obviously there were some people that were like, you know what, not for me, and it's like I understand it, but like for every one person that doesn't like it, there's like 10 more that do. So
It definitely brings up conversation though, because I've had multiple people now asking me, they're like, hey, who's the guy that always comments that on all your posts? And I'm like, oh my god.
You're a celebrity.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Uh,
C word.
The dreaded C.
Honestly, like I always feel weird when like people call me like I don't know, calling someone a celebrity just like makes me a little bit uncomfortable in the sense that it's like
Oh, for
it
sure.
You
because
just
it
got to
feels like
embrace it, Marco.
I know, but it
Yeah.
feels like a word that's just so up there, and you're just like, all right, you know,
Is that really me? I don't think so.
yeah. It's like
Is
I'm
that-
not, I'm
Yeah.
not, I'm not that great. I'm like, yeah.
Give yourself
Um.
some credit, son.
All right. I guess we should start. Like talking about your guys' starts. So Gianni, you mentioned that you played like tennis
Yeah.
mostly, like, and then you played like what was it? You played for like Adventure Club and people like that when you started, like.
Yeah, so basically I was playing a bunch of local shows in Dallas, Texas, and I got my first booking. It was for a foam and glow party, and it was like Waka Flocka, Mac J, like a couple of different people like that. And they actually Waka Flocka's mic check went past my set. It was only like a 15-minute set. Like I won some DJ competition on Wavo. And then because that got canceled, I met the different promoters putting on the shows, and they're like, "Hey, we're so sorry. Like, we're gonna get you booked for more shows. Don't worry. Like, we're so sorry. This never happens." I was like, "Okay, whatever." I was just like 15 at the time, and then from that, I started playing more shows, and the next show I got booked for was .com, which is Marshmello before all this blew up, which is just crazy to think about now that I got to meet him. And then from there, I just really started playing a bunch of local shows and met the different promoters for Life in Color and Foam and Glow and Foam Wonderland and these different events. And then it kind of came to a point where it's like, I want to play bigger shows. I want to start traveling and doing more, but I needed that production. Everybody's asking me, "Do you produce? Do you produce?" And I just felt bad. I'd never played an instrument before, but I love DJing and I love music. So I was just like, you know what? I've heard of Icon, kind of from some nightmare videos and Jaws, hearing about some of these different people, and I was like, I had a friend that had just graduated, and I was like, was it worth it? And he was telling me all the great benefits of it, and I was like, I'm going to do this plan. I'm going to try to graduate quickly and then move out there. And then that's when I started going to Icon, and really that kind of just opened up the doors, meeting all these amazing people like you guys and just all the different people at Icon and in California. There's just so many different people, so many different events, so many things always going on to meet people. So it's a really great place to kind of get my start at.
All right, that's actually
Oh,
really
yeah.
sick.
Mhm.
I'm just surprised like people were actually like we're gonna actually like sorry that this didn't work out. We're actually gonna try to get you booked more shows because like a lot of times like
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
No, it was super nice. And one of the great things is that one of my friends, the one that went to Icon before me that was moving to California, he had CDJs, the DJing equipment that's pretty standard at all the different clubs and festivals. And he sold it to me for a really good price. So then to make money, I would rent out my CDJs and equipments at these different shows. And it'd be for some different artists. And sometimes they would give me like the first opening slot or something after I set up all the equipment. And then I'd get paid that way through the money of playing the shows, getting to meet the different artists and promoters, but also bringing them value by bringing my equipment and also making some money for myself too.
That's pretty freaking cool. I definitely am not making any money off anything I do, so that's like
Mhm.
especially when I was that age. So that's I mean, why am I saying like as that me being that age was like a really long time ago? I'm still like a
Right.
child.
Yeah. It all has
Um,
to start from somewhere, though, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's very true. All right, so
Yeah.
what about your beginnings? You didn't really touch much up on that, so I'm kind of interested. How
Yeah.
did you get
Yeah.
like interested? How'd you know that was something you wanted to do?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, growing up, it was definitely more so. I definitely had a lot of the like kind of musical kind of background. Like I started like playing piano, and then I would do stuff like school plays and stuff like that growing up. As well as I was also on the sports side, so it was always a lot of fun. I played like football and stuff growing up, and then as I got older, I got into like the festival scene, like way. I got into like the underground stuff way back when they were like garage and warehouse raves, and like coming from Arizona, we had desert raves, and those were like so much fun because that you wouldn't even get like a text with coordinates until like an hour and a half before. And then it was basically like, you know, it was the way for kids to kind of do the thing where it was, you know, your own, like, go out into the middle of the desert and have like a party away from like all your parents. It was kind of like the rebellious thing back then.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And then, I know, right? It was so much
I'm
fun.
still,
And then
you
like,
know, I'm still shocked about the getting updates on where a show is with coordinates. Like,
dude,
Right.
I missed that. There was an old website that was called in Arizona. It was called don'tstayin.com, and it was like you would sign up and you would literally get like you'd sign up with a profile and you would put your name on there and you would get your text like an hour to 2 hours before where this like hidden rave was, whether it be at a warehouse, whether it was the desert rave. One of them, like Bubble Bobble, was a really popular one where they literally, it was like, it's like a foam party, and it was like, oh my god, it was the most gross thing at the end, but during it was so much fun. But they yeah, like that stuff was crazy. And like then growing up and going through like college, I was going to bigger festivals, some in Arizona, some like I went to like EDC and like Nocturnal and like other big ones by Insomniac. And as the scene started to grow in Arizona, I started hanging out with like a couple different people. One of my friends, Matt, who was starting to get pretty big in Arizona, and he kind of like brought me on as far as like helping out with the event side and promotional side. And so I kind of got into promoting in that sense. And I started meeting like all these club owners, like different promoters, and then different festival guys. And like one of Matt's shows, like I would bring out like 60 to 80 people just for him alone. And so that's kind of how I kind of grew on the music scene, because EDM was starting to really take off. And so yeah, and then helping him, I just started to like get way more invested on the event side with the music, which is kind of what I thought I was going to do going through college. And then as I got like in with like bigger event companies, like bigger event planning companies, that's what kind of like got me closer to music, as far as like being around bigger artists and like being in this scene. And it kind of got to a point where I had to move to Vegas for this company that wanted to bring me on, because I was doing pretty well on the sales side for like tickets and stuff like that. And as I like worked with them, I actually ended up meeting people like Waka Flocka. I met Nightmare. I met Arl Grime. I met some other people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was super sick. And I'm not even gonna lie, like I had this story always is so amazing, because I'm sure Nightmare would literally not even know who I was at this point. But we literally hung out after his set as at one of the shows that I helped throw. We like hung out. He like rolled me one, and we were literally just like chilling, like talking about music and life as an artist. And I was really, and this is like me just, you know, helping out with him and like artist relations. And I was just letting him know, like, hey man, like you did such an amazing job. And he was so humble, like one of the nicest people I've ever met. I told him how much I love music, and he was like, dude, you should honestly do it. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, no, like honestly, like you should really get into the music side. And I was like, huh. So I remember that like sunk in with me for a while. And like I was like, maybe that's the thing I love most about music, is like the music side, is not just the event side and being there. So that kind of happened. And then I kind of got screwed over by my event company after this event took place. And it kind of put me in a place where I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. And I picked up Ableton basically at this point, and was like, okay, I'm going to learn what this DAW is. I'm going to learn all about it. And so I basically went into a cave for probably close to half a year and just like learned Ableton, learned how to make music, and doing all the stuff that I've been watching, you know, all my favorite artists do. And from that point on, I was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna make this music thing happen. I kind of took it seriously, and then I released some of my own first tunes on like, you know, Spotify, iTunes, all this good stuff. And sure enough, I was actually looking for a gig where I can start teaching other people how to use Ableton. And that's when I actually ran across Icon, and I got in a call with them, not knowing really what Icon was. I thought they were a place I can get a certificate from to like basically accredit me teaching other people to do Ableton. And I sent over some music to them because they had asked, and they're like, yo, you should really check out our, like, some of the kids that went here. We think you'd have like a really good shot. And so I was like, okay, sweet. So like I looked in and I was like, oh my God, Nightmare, Jaws, like all these Slander, all these amazing artists went to Icon. So I went through their admissions process. They were like, dude, like absolutely you got in. And then I picked up and didn't even think twice. I moved to LA and then went to Icon, and same thing. I got to meet Gianni, where now I was surrounded by all these insane artists, and like coming on Sidewalk, and then now doing some of these crazy shows. It's been kind of a like amazing ride.
Yeah, that
That's
sounds
super
pretty
sick.
crazy. I want to actually ask, like, how did you meet, like, how did you and Gianni meet? Just like, how did Sidewalk Talk come around? Like, both of you can answer this. Like, I just want to know, like,
Yeah.
how that
You want me to
became
say the story? I guess, I don't know. We have office hours at Icon where it's like all these different teachers throughout the day are doing little sessions where you can get feedback, ask whatever you want. They sometimes go over different tracks that they're working on. Basically, it's whatever you want. And I kept seeing Jarrett, like me and him were always in there every time for all these different office hours. Like, who is this
Yeah.
guy? And then I
Who is
can't
this
remember.
guy?
I think like you were sitting right in front of me, and I saw your computer, and it was like a stamped or the Martin Garrix label, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I had just went to Ultra and saw like the stamped stage, and like I saw Martin play and a bunch of others. He's like, no way, I love that music too. And then like I don't know, we just hit it off really well, and then
Come to find out,
like
didn't we find out we both went to that ultra and just never we
yeah,
didn't cross paths there? But like, yeah,
right. Yeah, and this
yeah,
was like right after Ultra in 2019. And then like we were just in the office hour and then got along great. And at the time we were looking for a third co-host for Sidewalk Talk. And I was like, we had literally just found someone and then that person was just unable to do it. And like Jared just popped up and I was like, dude, like you have such a good personality. Like you're a dope dude. Do you want to do the show with us? And then it was
not
like,
it.
it worked out so perfect. Like it was awesome.
Like you got to understand too. Like Johnny was, I owe a lot to Johnny. He's definitely been someone that has like he's definitely put his neck on the line for me and like spoken up for me a lot in like in moving to LA. Like he's really given me such a great and bright like outlook at like the people in LA, because you get kind of the mixed signal. Everyone's like, don't move to LA, it's like all this
For
and
sure.
that, but then you meet people like Gian, you're like, well, that's just not true. And so like we it was cool too because I think I was at a Q&A. That's right, yeah, Q&A for Cruella's manager, and
Oh yeah.
it was super dope. He had such great things to say, and I think Johnny wasn't able to make it. And like after that, Johnny had like asked me, like, hey, what were some of the key points? And he and I just got into this great conversation. And literally from then, it was like Johnny had asked me to be on Sidewalk, and then next thing I know, like we were all on Sidewalk with Lauren and our other friend John, and just everything just kind of clicked, man. It was super dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how did you get it, like, where did your connection with like Lauren and stuff like that come from? Like, I'm
So this is how it started with me and Lauren. So right at the end, I was just graduating from TCU, December 2018, and I knew I got accepted to Icon. And I knew I was moving there. And while I was doing Icon, I was like, oh, I really just want like an internship or a job or something in the music industry. I just want something just to, keep me motivated in the music industry. So I applied to like 13 different labels and all of them turned me down because they needed school credit. And then I was like, what am I going to do? And I watched Sidewalk Talk for multiple years. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to email her and see if she'd be willing to, I don't know, see if I can help her out with something. So I emailed her. It was like 2 months. She didn't really respond very quickly. We got on a phone call when I had just gotten to California. And she was like, yeah, like, why don't you come over? I need some help with a few things. So I ended up meeting her. I went over there and then I helped create she needed help with her interviews on YouTube being converted into podcasts for Spotify and iTunes. So I spent a lot of time doing that and helping her out with that and kind of just learning how she does little things. She's such a great person. And then I was able to, luckily, we were talking like, oh, let's do this cool show. We'll talk about EDM news. We'll talk about all these different things. And then that's when we started putting together the different people for the show. And we started like trying out some different topics and some different things. And that's kind of how it all came together. And then we just started building from there.
Yeah.
Sick.
Do you
That's
think
awesome.
like it's better like as do you think it's better to like be doing a show as like a group of 3 rather than a group of 2 or 4?
One thing that I will say with groups of 3 compared to a group of 2, when it's a group of 2, it's like it's either you or the other person. And I think when there's that third person, it kind of helps like, okay, it's not just about you and that one other person. And I feel like it doesn't put as much pressure. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, shoot, I need to say this, or like,
Yeah.
I want to make sure it gets set across. I don't know. How's it been with you guys having the group of 3?
I think it's kind of
Relatively
nice.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, like
pretty good so far.
because we can have like if one of us doesn't know what to say, like the other 2 can have a conversation and kind of like say it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's definitely how it was via Sidewalk too. Like that's I think Johnny's completely right. Like the dynamic is so much brighter when you have like a couple different heads around you, versus just like the one-on-one conversation,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there'd be some days where one of us couldn't make it or something, and we still needed to shoot. And like whether it was John or Jared out, like
The
it was
Triani
all, like,
episodes.
oh yeah, and
yeah.
they threw like this tree in there to kind of replace me for some of the episodes
That
when
was
I would
so
go home for our
fun.
breaks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
like,
funny, and it was always like, I don't know, at least for me in the groups of two, I was always like, oh, I kind of wish the third person was here. It's nice to have like, just it feels like everybody's here as opposed to like when you just have part of your family or however many people.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it
Right.
also definitely helped too with like Lauren having she had such a great head and vision for kind of what I guess kind of the culture she wanted to build around Sidewalk. So that also did help too.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
definitely
definitely.
seems like she has her like mind in the right place for that kind of stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was one thing I was really impressed is I felt like she was always very organized. I remember we would sit down and be like, okay, what are the quarter one goals for this year? And she has another big job that she does. She just changed. She's working for like Disney and ABC right now, but she was always super busy with other things. But she still got all these interviews and preparation. It was pretty cool to see her do. But she was always very organized with everything.
She's got like time management and everything too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one thing I need to learn.
Real consistent
Damn.
uploads.
Right.
Something that we're hoping to have, but you never know here.
No, you guys are off to like a great start. It seems. I mean, you guys have
Yeah.
already. I mean, you've already scheduled you've already done other ones, right? Like other interviews.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
done we did one interview earlier today, and then that you guys are our second interview. So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
you guys are
Yeah, Marco,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you got some really exciting guests coming on. I don't know if you want to talk about any of that right now, but I know you got some really good people coming on soon.
Let's keep it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for those. I
ourselves
won't say
here, like-
anything now, but those are
Yeah.
definitely gonna be really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Honestly, I love the fact that you guys are keeping this kind of talk show kind of stuff thing alive, because I think especially the EDM scene, it really needs it. It needs like this place where like people can come on and feel like it's just a comfortable conversation and like with
Yeah.
artists and people who enjoy
Mhm.
music.
yeah, and I feel
Especially
like
during this time right now.
Right.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
like I feel like also like with just electronic shows and like interview stuff, pretty much the only thing out there is Sidewalk Talk, and that's like the only thing to kind of open it up, and it's like I feel like maybe people like me, I want to learn a little more about like the artists that I really like, and it's like there's only usually one outsource for that. It's like
Mhm.
Yeah,
you could have like multiple
Definitely.
interviews. If you could see multiple interviews with like the same people, like you could build like more of like a person, I guess, more like
Right.
an idea
Around
of,
that,
like,
or yeah, 100%.
definitely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So now John, Victor, do you guys have any questions for them? Because you guys have been
Yeah.
just sitting there.
I got you. So, and in particular, what sort of thing drew you to EDM? Of course, like you have your backstories of exactly like the foam parties and stuff, but like, was there a particular genre or particular sound that kind of drew you in?
Hello.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead,
Oh,
Jared.
sorry.
Mine cut out for a second.
Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
so did mine too. I mean, I could definitely start off. I think you know what's funny. I think there's always one specific moment, because I have just these artists like I grew up with like the big ones back when they were still doing their thing coming up, and like for me, like people like Martin Garrix and like Alesso and Avicii and all them.
Mhm.
But like I think the thing that really locked me like to EDM, where I was just like, yeah, no, this is like one of the things that I will love for the rest of my life, was I was at EDC 2015, and I was literally at Avicii's set, and I swear to God, there was a moment I remember it, like looking around, and it felt like literally time had stood still, and I was looking around, and I think everyone was crying. I don't think there was a single person I saw around me that wasn't tearing up, and I was just like, I want to do this for people. I literally
Mhm.
want to do this for people. I think this would be like this moment that everyone's in right now. They are so lost in this beautiful moment, and they're so happy with who they are right now. And I don't think they're thinking about any struggles or anything else going on in their life besides being happy in this moment. And I was like, I would love to be able to do that for someone.
That's beautiful. I love that.
That's a nice thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate
How's
that.
Jared able to
Yeah,
top that?
Yeah, I don't know either, but basically for me, it was just that um, I I guess I had always like I think the first electronic music I was really into hip hop before
Right.
and a little bit of alternative
G
music
WIZZ.
too. Yes, of course. And
My man.
I I was listening to my friend had just showed me the Skrillex, the Scary Monsters Nice Sprites, and I was
Oh,
like, wow. And I know a lot of people say
Straight
that, but
bangers.
that was really the first time I was like, wow, this is actually like really cool music. And then I started going to shows. My first ever show was Wolfgang Gartner. I was like 13 years
Hey.
old.
What?
It was
Yeah.
super long time ago. He was like killing it at the time. He's an amazing
Yeah.
producer. Anyways, I went to that show and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I started going to more shows, and then I started being like, you know what? I would love to DJ. Like, I love the transitions and stuff. I love seeing how they match up different songs, and I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to produce. I'm sorry, I learned how to DJ. So then I started just focusing, and I just wanted to DJ and play shows, and I would bring my controller to the house parties and do all these different little things. And then I think what really sealed it was just going on these trips and going on like whether it was EDC or Ultra or whatever with like just a really good group of friends, and that was just my favorite time. I mean, it was almost like I was just living in a dreamland for like 3 days, just being like going to the festival, enjoying music, enjoying friends after, and just like I don't know, I just wanted to provide that experience for as many people too, and it's just like that's like my goals. I just want people to be able to enjoy it like the way that I've been lucky enough to join, like be a part of the scene for so long.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
That's
yeah.
sick. And then I have two questions actually. It's similar. So the first one is, what kind of party goer are you, or like what kind of raver are you? Do you like go to the front, or you just kind of sit in the back, middle, just kind of hang out? And then the second question is, now that you do DJ, do you still DJ today? As in, like, do you go to LA and do shows now, and like if so, like what's the experience like behind the decks?
So I would say for type of raver, it's definitely kind of changed as I've gotten older. In the beginning, I was kind of more like, yeah, I just want to be in the front, I want to be in the crowd. And then like as I've gotten older, I feel like it started to be more, okay, I need to have my space. Like space is just the most important thing. I love dancing, I love having a good time, but like I still got to have that space no matter what. So I've kind of, I guess, a little bit of a combination of everything, because I still do like to go to the front for a little bit, but I feel like I just can't stay up there long as usual now. But as far as DJing and playing shows, I played my first LA show last year in Santa Monica.
It was
but that
so
was
sick. It was
yeah,
so
Jarrett
sick.
was there.
It was
a
so
fun
dope.
time. It was
Do you
a really
remember
fun time.
Do you remember where it was?
Yeah, I believe it was the Venetian. Is that right, Jarrett? Do you remember?
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah, it's that giant. It's a flipping huge, like, old school house that's been there for like years that they turned into this amazing club, and it's like, yeah. And Johnny murdered it. It was
Had like
so
a couple
sick.
different levels. It was really fun, and they had a couple different stages and stuff. But that's the only show I've played right now. I've been really focusing on getting my project together and being cohesive. And then I was actually just was just talking to Jarrett before this call about like our EPKs, which is just an electronic press kit, which is kind of what you would send to different clubs or promoters just to see if they want to book you. You kind of show your accolades on there. But we were just talking about how we were sending it, and we were like starting to get, I think Jarrett, and I don't mean to say this for him already, but was getting his first show in LA, and like we were both like getting kind of amped up to start playing shows now that we had just graduated from Icon. But obviously with this whole thing, it's put a little bit of a hold on it.
Halt on it.
Yeah.
And then as far as like the online scene for playing shows, have you guys participated in anything along those lines, or like do you plan on doing?
Oh yeah, go ahead,
Jarrett.
Oh, me? Okay. I was gonna say, yeah, actually what's funny is so in trying to escape the whole, the big COVID thing going on, we left. We actually went back to Arizona. When I say we, sorry, I mean like me, my girlfriend and my best friends. We actually went back to Arizona, and I actually brought my DJ stuff. So we actually did a live stream. I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And yeah, it was fun. Like, it was fun to like kind of do it at your home and like kind of get like people involved and stuff. And so I thought that was kind of cool. I think we might do some more, but we'll probably set up again soon. But yeah,
sounds good.
I'm so jealous because I wish I had my equipment and all my equipment. So I went to Texas literally the weekend before they announced the stay-at-home order and everything happened. And all my equipment, all my studio monitors, everything is in my apartment in California. So it's been killing me not being able to do any live streams. But I'm trying to figure out how long this thing, if I can get them set here or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
dude, I'm telling you, we got to do something about that. Like, even if it's like special order, because I would love to catch that live stream.
I know that'd be, and there's so many cool. I'm learning about all the different platforms that they're using now to like showcase it, and I'm learning so much about Twitch and how cool it is right now. And I just wish I had my equipment with me.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity right now. So definitely.
Yeah, I feel
dude,
like
it's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like
it's crazy what's been going on with like Twitch and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be pretty successful in the live stream sense, Gianni. Like I've seen some of a couple of your like little mini sets, like both at the Nightmare pop.
Oh yeah, are we gonna talk about how we met in that whole night?
The sidewalk talk. The sidewalk talk. Fucking the San Holo meetup. That's what
Stay vibrant.
Do you guys wanna say like your perspective first, or should I go with mine?
Yeah, go for it, Gianni. Oh yeah.
Marco, I want to hear your side of things. Let me hear it from your side first.
Okay, I'll go through my perspective. It was what was it? January 20 something. I remember because like it was the same night as a Reaper show, and I was planning on going to the Reaper show anyway, and nobody wanted to go to the meet and greet with me, so I was like, you know what? I'm probably just like not gonna do it. Like, as I've met San Holo a couple times already, but it's like, man, I do really want to meet like the Sidewalk Talk people. And then I realized, hey, the Reaper show is like literally a couple blocks away. I'll just go to this, and then like I'll just walk right over there. It's like it's perfect. It's like fuck it, I'll do it.
Might as well, yeah.
I got there. I think I was like one of the only people that showed up by themselves. It felt a little weird, but I did get I talked to some people like at the back of that long ass line for the boba place, by the way. It's pretty cool. You guys came out like with the camera like to film the line or whatever. I was
doing our trivia questions.
Yeah,
that's
you guys were doing that, and it was interesting. It was a very nice actual like venue and setup when I like walked in. Very very cool place. You guys had like the little
boba shop.
Yeah, you guys had milk and tea, was it? Yeah, it was very, very nicely set up. You guys had like the merch booth and like the like actual DJ, like the decks in like the back. You managed to like also keep it very orderly, you know, for like the amount of people that were there. So I'll give you props for that. It was like I didn't really I was like just waiting in line. And then it was when I got to the line to meet, like, for the actual meet and greet to meet San Holo. It was Gina that was taking pictures. I said hi to her, and I'm like, oh, it's pizza time. And she's like, oh, you're the guy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm the guy. We talked about that for a little bit. Took my photo with San Holo. I met Lauren, and I also was like, it's pizza time. And she's like, oh, yeah, I recognize that. And she was like, yeah, we took some photos and all that. And then I saw like Gianni over there, and I like approached him because like I did recognize him from your guys' episodes and stuff like that. And I was like, oh yeah, I know who this guy is. I don't think he probably doesn't know who I am at all, and like you didn't, so that's like.
That was the first night I found out about pizza time, but I will not forget it since that day.
Yeah, we just started talking, I guess, about like just different shows and music tastes, and I was like, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, and you're like, you asked me if I was gonna go to any like shows down the line, and I was like, yeah, I'm actually going to a Reaper show, to Reaper show, like in like what, like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and then you were like, oh yeah, we might go there or something, and then we like saw you guys there, and it was weird with everything. It was a good show. And up until like everything got shut down.
What happened anyways?
Man.
I'm not too sure. I think it was like the cops showed up and they just thought it was like an illegitimately set up event. So
it had to do with the fact that they didn't have like the right permit to have that I think it's because they had underage kids there drinking, or not. They weren't drinking, but like because they had underage kids there whilst alcohol was being served. I don't think they had the correct permit for that, and so the cops were like, "Yeah, no, this has to be shut down."
I think I feel like if that was the thing though, it was like it was marketed as an 18+ show, so I feel like, you know, I think maybe it was because like it wasn't 21+ that they were.
Yeah,
like they needed a special license if they were going to do it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that was so tragic. It was such a cool show. Everyone was there, like,
and it was Reaper's debut too. It was a huge deal. Yeah, there were a lot of artists that were there.
A lot of artists were there.
Yeah, like Mad Nap, San Holo. I heard Keizo was like walking around.
Yeah, Cray was there. There was
Yeah,
there was so many.
The people that were playing too were also actually really good. I really liked Atlas set. Like he did a really good job.
Yeah.
I believe John Casey too, right?
Yeah, I never seen John Casey before that. Never had either seen something, and they did a really good job. Oh
yeah, something too.
Oh shoot, yeah. Marco, did you walk with us there?
Yeah.
No.
Wait to the no.
Not to Brownies and Lemonade.
To the show, no. But like after everything got shut off. I walked outside and I was like, man, I didn't come here with anyone. I don't know where to go. And then like because I'm super.
No, we saw you, right? And then you walked back with us with like San Holo and everybody.
We saw everyone, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I get like super. I'm like really introverted in reality, so like whenever I go to like parties or shows, I'm like usually kind of like I'm usually like looking around for someone that I know, so I don't have to like make a lot of social like interactions. Because so like I noticed you guys after the show shut off, and I was like, huh, you know what? I know these guys. I'll go talk to them because you know I didn't come here with anybody. Might as well. And then you guys suggested, you were like, I think it was Jarrett that suggested like, hey, I'm kind of not ready for like to just quit tonight. Like, why don't we just like
classic Jarrett?
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds like me.
Yeah, and then I don't know who came up with the idea of like going back, and because you had all the equipment there, but luckily like, was it the owner of the boba place or like whoever was like manager there, like still was there with you guys and like had the keys and stuff?
Yeah, the owner of the boba place. So we had just finished the event. At like 10 or 10:30 with San Holo, and all the fans had taken their pictures and like got to chill with him, and we were all like there after. And then San Holo wanted to go check out the Brownies and Lemonade show, so he's like, "Hey, do you guys want to go?" And then he is the nicest guy, by the way, and like he took us all and just got us all backstage, and like we ended up chilling there for just a little bit before it got closed down, and then he was like, yeah, let's keep. And then Jarrett was definitely hyping everybody up, and we all took it back. And the owner of the boba place was like, hey, we still got the equipment. Let's do it. Let's throw the after party. I got the keys. And then Jarrett also got the alcohol. And then Benzie and Pierce ended up playing some stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pierce shows up. Yeah, with us.
Yeah.
It was a really great night. Like I got to meet a lot of cool people. I mean, like I think what kind of solidified the whole pizza time thing for you, Gianni, was the fact that like Pierce was like very knowing of who the fuck I was. Yeah, he was like, he told me like to go fuck myself kind of in a sense, but you know, in like in the most playful way possible. In the most playful way possible. It was I appreciated it, so like it was definitely a win. And then like
thanks for the recognition.
After all of that, we just went up talking, and then then I guess we just went home. I went home, took the train.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. No, yeah, that's what we all did. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was that like from your guys' perspective? Like just all that.
It was. I mean, it was such a cool experience. I think something that I learned that night was just, you know, San Holo is just, you know, you see these guys, you idolize these different DJs, and you like, you know, some of them are talking about positivity, other things, and just to actually meet him and see that he really is that like positive and that like respectful, and just every single person, it didn't matter who you were, he kind of just showed me, you know, like that's the type of artist I want to be. and his whole team, even down to the photographer, everybody was above and beyond nice. Like just and a great
yeah.
time, a great people to be around, and also just to see all the people that like came for San Holo. He has such a strong fan base, and they knew a lot of different things when we were asking him different trivia questions, and it was just really cool to see it all come together and like it benefit so many people in like a positive way.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
San
no.
Holo's an angel.
Oh,
San
dude,
Holo.
he's one of the best.
Yeah, he's like
Have you guys seen that he's like releasing a new track a week?
yeah,
Really?
like
Oh,
for,
wow.
like the stay vibrant like quarantine stuff, like one new little like track a week. 'Cause he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He one just came out today. It's just him just going off on his guitar, and it's gorgeous.
Damn, that's a cool idea.
I do
Yeah.
like that he's been putting a lot more guitar into his like sets and tracks, like as of the last couple of years.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, no,
definitely nice,
100%.
like, 'cause
Definitely
he
helped
did
him
have-
stand out a bit because I feel
Yeah.
like not that many people have been able. Some people have been able to incorporate the live instrument, but he just has
Yeah.
that. It's really cool with his guitar and the way he plays it with his tracks. And like the way the live performances with it is really cool how it comes together.
Yeah, it's like I've seen a couple artists like be doing stuff with like live instruments. I know like Dabin does a lot of live guitar,
Yeah.
and so does
No, Davin's
Trivecta.
amazing too. I had just seen him for the first time on the Millennium tour, and he really blew me away. I'm a huge fan now.
Oh yeah, he's actually like a lot better than like I could have ever thought.
You said Dabin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, dude. Oh, he's
I know you
amazing.
just saw him too, right?
Yes, dude, he was amazing. I actually caught his live stream as well with Said the Sky when they did Dab the
Yeah.
Sky.
Oh,
other
for the
day.
Digital Mirage.
Yes,
Yeah.
yo, they killed it. They were absolutely amazing. Him and then Griffin had one of the most amazing sets I've ever
Oh,
seen. too.
Griffin's amazing too. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in the
Yeah.
live performance area.
We were
Yeah.
talking about this episode 1 that like Dabin was actually the first. It was Victor's first like
Yep.
actual electronic show, but it was also the show that
No
we met-
way!
It was also the show that we met John at that same show. So like
Exactly.
Wow.
yeah, so
It was like one of his album shows
was-
too.
Yep,
Yeah,
it was
it's
Wild
for-
Youth
yeah, it
released.
was when
I
Wild
was
Youth
literally
just
about to
came out.
ask that because that tour that he did, I heard was like one of the most magical things to experience.
Yep, and it was his
Really
first
cool.
show in LA as well.
Oh my god.
I'm jealous. Oh my gosh.
It was
crazy.
definitely, like a really
You guys
good
need to get him
night.
on the show. How great is that? That you guys all kind of have. He was the one that bonded you guys kind of in the beginning.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Did he come out playing the guitar and everything?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He had Sober Rob and Trivecta like as support that night.
Oh, Trivecta was there. Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
Trivecta was an
so-
OG. Like
And it was
I
because,
think
like,
he was one of my favorites.
we found out that like the three of us were like super into kind of like Monster Cat when we like all started like getting into electronic music. So like Trivecta
Oh,
was
okay.
like one of our like someone that like we knew like for
We were
a really
hyped
long
about it.
time. We had like listened to like a lot of his shit like
That's
since,
dope.
like,
Yeah.
for years. So we almost like kind of blew out all of our energy during Trivecta's set. Like we were probably like rail riding crazy, but you know, like yeah,
So-
it was good times.
That's sick. Yeah.
If he dropped Believe, I would have been crazy. That's like, 'cause I think that's his first track, and I always loved that track.
Yeah, he still dropped like some of his old like 2014 stuff, and that was like,
Yeah, that's
really
Yeah.
nice.
Dude, yeah. No, I'm so glad you guys got to see Davin though, man. That whole album I feel like is one of those ones that like it's just such a pure album.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like one of those. It's very rare that I find albums that's like every song on the album is like really good. Like every song on the album, like you can name like instantly when you hear it, you're like, oh, I really
Yeah.
like this song. That's like one of
Yes.
those albums for me.
Mhm. Yeah, that's fire.
Like the singles were definitely like chosen well. I mean, like Altitude with Fitch was like a really good one off that album and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Altitude. I'm definitely one of those people that just like fell straight for the Alive track. I just like there was something about that
Oh,
hit so
yeah.
different. Yeah.
Run's vocals are like absolutely magical.
Oh,
or
It'd be a
always.
dream to work with her.
Oh
100%.
gosh, yeah,
Dude.
she's so good.
I would love to have her on the show because that would be pretty interesting. I would love to, get like a vocalist's point of view on stuff like that.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you guys ever want to, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of LUMA. She's amazing. She's such a hard worker. She's worked with Ophelia Records, so like people like
Oh, yeah.
off of Seven Lions label. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like a
she
track with
oh sorry
Madnap last year. She did like a track with Madnap last year. That's like still one of my favorite tracks of last year. Like Faces.
oh dude her
It's
voice, she did
gorgeous.
a collab with Nurko too, if you guys are familiar with him, and just like her
Oh, yeah.
voice is beyond. Yeah, I actually secrets out, I got a little collab coming. I can't wait to share that one with her.
Ooh,
Hell
hell
yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be sick.
Yeah, that'll
Nice,
be fun.
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that like we should brush up on, John, Victor?
I was actually wondering, what are your guys' first shows? Like, do you remember who it might have been? I think one of you touched up on it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I was saying mine was Wolfgang Gartner when I was like 13, and it was. I remember I went with just one other friend, and it was like, I just remember thinking like, this is so crazy, all these lights, all these like LED screens, and the production, and all the people. Like, it was a little overwhelming,
Yeah,
honestly,
like-
in the beginning, but
I mean, you're lucky, I guess, in the sense that you could go to like, because you grew up in Texas. Like, where in Texas did you like?
so Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I know Dallas. You guys probably have a lot more like all ages shows out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I
growing
have
up
also
here-
felt like earlier there was a lot more all ages shows, and then I don't know why I felt like as I was getting older they started like all the different smaller shows started being at least 18 and up, and then I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of festivals and stuff started moving to 21 plus, and
Yeah, like
Yeah.
here in LA, it's almost impossible to find all ages shows. It's,
Right.
It's so
Yeah.
hard.
I think it's
are
just
some
as it got
brownies and lemonade?
pop- okay.
I was just saying, are some of the brownies and lemonade shows all ages, or are those all 18 and up too?
Those are usually 18 and up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I my first ever show. Like I was 17 when I was able to go to my first show. So
Oh wow.
Yeah.
yeah, it took a while.
What was your first show, Jarrett?
I'm actually trying to think of that, because I'm trying to think of like,
Do you even remember?
dude.
I know there's been so many shows.
Dude, it's been a hot minute, and I'm pretty sure I saw people out in Arizona before I went to like my first major festival, and I'm trying to think of like who would have been on that lineup back then. Because back then, like that's when people like Dioro and like Alesso and like all
Yeah.
those guys were still doing it, yeah, and they were still doing smaller events.
Carnage was like huge, like just started coming up, just created Festival Trap. And I was
Right.
like, this is such a sick genre. Like, it's just trap drums over like the house songs. And I was like, oh, I want to do this. That's so awesome.
Right?
Yeah, dude, he brought that whole different sound like to that style, you know,
He
the
did.
whole trap
Yeah.
era. Yeah,
Definitely.
that was like huge. I almost want to say like it was like someone like Galantis, like right as like,
Ooh.
man,
Was it a
I
festival
cannot
or
remember.
was it a concert?
No,
do you
I think
know?
it was more of like a show, like a one-day show, almost like
Okay.
because we had a show. There's like a couple different ones, like Wet Electric's been going on quite a while that I used to go to, and like so, that's what I'm trying to remember is like who might have been on those lineups back then.
What was y'all's first show?
So mine was that Dabin and Trivecta show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that was
yeah.
back in, I think, 2018, right? 2009. Oh, it was early
It
2019,
it
actually.
was early 2019. Yeah, April.
Yeah. It was like exactly like a year from now ago. Let's see.
Yeah.
Was that your first concert ever, or just electronic music concert?
That was my first actual concert ever, because honestly,
Oh wow.
I'm fairly introverted in the sense that like I love music and I've been listening to music forever and just like making my own stuff and just doing audio production since like maybe middle school. But
Wow.
going to shows, it was kind of like, number one, it was a money issue, right? Because I mean, as you're younger, you're not really making any money to go to these shows, right?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
also being like finding all ages shows at the time was just not a thing that I was just interested in. And it
yeah.
really took Marco to bring me out of my shell and be like, hey, listen, we're going to go to this EDM show and you're going to like it. And then I bought a ticket and we ended up going, had an amazing time.
I don't think I was
Hey.
that demanding, but yeah, hey, you know what?
I mean, and yeah, I mean, from your perspective, it might have been that way. But for me, like, I genuinely, like, people would be like, oh, I'm going to this show or whatever. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, nice. But it never, like, occurred to me, like, it would be that much fun. Because, I mean, at the same time, you also see, like, all these crazy, like, videos of people fighting and shit. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to be in that, you know? So,
Yeah.
But it's a lot more different than what I initially thought it would be. It's a lot
Yeah.
more inviting. The people are all great for the most part.
Yeah.
You'll get a beer spilled on you occasionally at the front, like people fighting, being protective over their SOs or significant others. But overall, I love it. So
Was
Yeah.
that now? How recent was that show?
that was literally a year ago, like from April.
Oh, okay. I will
It's-
say. Oh, good.
Go ahead. My bad.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like this scene, I will be honest, has changed a lot, and this could be definitely like up for conversation. But I noticed like when I was going to shows in 2014 and 2015, it was, I swear, man, it was such a different scene. There was you would never,
Yeah.
someone fighting was literally never heard of. 'Cause if you bumped into someone,
yeah.
the person you bumped into would apologize. Like it's like people
Yeah.
were so nice and inviting. No one cared where you came from. Like you could like. Yeah, it just felt like a home.
I think it's just changing
Yeah.
a lot, you know, with just
Yeah.
it's becoming more of a mainstream
Right.
like situation.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like a lot has to do with also the setting. It's like, are you going to like a show that's a one night show, or are you going to like EDC where like everybody's so happy and just like hugging you? You never met them. They're telling you you're beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like it was Data Life. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that-
Dang. That's wild.
Mhm.
They did a show that like I wanted to go to, like, but I hadn't turned 18 yet, and they were doing a show
Mm.
at the Palladium, like out there in Hollywood, and I really wanted to go because like
For
they
champagne
were,
bottles and bananas.
yeah, they were just really good. There was really good support, so I was like,
Hell yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
There are only
but
like
I
2
know-
places
Yeah,
that are like all ages.
yeah, like I know.
Wow,
the
I didn't
Roxy
realize
is
it was
usually
so
all ages and
restricting for you
stuff.
guys to try and find all ages shows. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
usually what it has been out here. It's like my first show
Dang.
was I was 17. It was October. Like I had just turned 17, and it was Drulu out.
Oh wow.
It was out at the Roxy, so it was yeah, it was definitely a really good show though. It was a good show for me for my first time. I talked about it a lot in the first episode of this podcast, so
That's amazing.
yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. Shout out Bitbird.
Well, yeah,
Right.
dude.
For real.
Bitbird definitely killing the game right now.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was another thing too, is like San Holo, like him being so amazing, but the other part is too, like he's the people he's surrounded by. So Thor from Bitbird, also just like one of the most amazing people I've ever met.
Oh,
Just, like,
God, yeah.
Such a good person. It's so crazy. Their community is amazing.
Yeah, all the artists that they have as well are also very like, super nice. Like I mean, we've met a bunch of them, and they're like, it's actually insane. Like you expect like a lot of these people to be kind of in their own head, right? As
Right.
in like they're big artists, right? They're putting on these big shows. You don't like really see the behind the scenes, right? But then when you really
Right.
meet these people, like it's an entirely different thing, right?
Yes.
So sweet. It's actually crazy. Like when I first met San Holo, it was at a Madion after party, and it was
That's
for the LA show that Madion did, and I think it was either a pre-party or after party. I don't even remember, but he ended up coming, and everybody like when he came in, everybody went like silent and whatever, and started like looking at him and like crowding him in a way, right? And you
Yeah.
could kind of tell that he just felt like out of place and just didn't want to be there, right? Or not that he didn't want to be there, but he felt like overwhelmed by the people, right? And then
Yeah.
he ended up going back into the main store, right? Just and kind of chilling there and talking to like his friends and stuff, right? And I ended up walking over there just to like buy some merch for Madion.
Yeah.
And I saw San Holo there, and I was just like, I ended up walking over and saying hi to him, and then saying hi like because he was supposed to perform a song with Madion, and
Damn.
basically I was just like, hi, what's up, or whatever. Started talking to him, and he was super sweet, like offered to take a photo with me and whatever. And we talked for maybe like 10, 15 minutes. It was like
Heck
unreal.
yeah.
And then I ended up meeting him at actually no, it's flipped. So the Madion one was more personal, and like I was able to meet him, but I also met him at that Drolo show at the Roxy. Or not the Drolo show, but it was Tasca Black, but Drolo and San Holo were there to support.
Did you guys bring pizza for that one? Is that the one where you were eating pizza with them backstage?
No, that was the
was the
actual
Drolo
Drulu
show.
That was actually a Drulu show where they invited us backstage, and they already
Oh,
had
gotcha.
pizza. They already had pizza
Oh, they
for
already
us.
had
We,
it?
yeah, we didn't bring it. They brought it for us. It was like
Yeah, it's crazy.
completely. It was crazy. Like it was probably the coolest thing that has ever happened because
Seriously.
of this so far.
So
Yeah.
far.
I mean,
So
yeah,
far.
it was really interesting because like they just it was me, Victor, and a buddy of mine who it was his first ever electronic show. Like it was his first real electronic show, and I just got the DM while waiting in line to like come backstage afterwards.
That's
And like,
awesome.
Holy
yeah,
cow.
So crazy.
my
That's so
dude's
sick.
my buddy's first ever electronic show, and he got to come backstage. It was
Yeah.
really,
Doesn't
like,
even
so
realize how
sick.
lucky he is.
yeah.
Right? Like what?
I mean, I think he realized because like it was like whoa, like I don't think this happens a lot, but yeah.
It was really cool because you don't ever get to really experience that outside of like being in the scene, right? I mean, you have to be like friends with people and stuff, but like just knowing that they like just picked us up off of Marco's crazy little Instagram thing really shows that they have like a lot of heart and like they really care for people. And I think that
Yeah.
just meeting Drew and then just really talking to them and hanging out with them was amazing. So
All right. I think we're
Heck yeah.
we're approaching like the end of our time limit here. So is there? So I guess like the last thing I should ask is like, is there anything that we should be expecting from G WIZZ and Pizooki like in the future? Like anything cool that you guys have been working on?
Yeah, I actually just finished up a mix yesterday, and I have an edit pack that I'm about to release coming up in the next 2 weeks. And then I also have just a bunch of originals, and I'm doing a couple of different little content, doing some things on YouTube as well. So just you can reach me at any of my handles, G WIZZ Music on any socials, and yeah, I'm excited for that.
I saw that too. Like, you had a track featured on Tribal Trap too,
Yeah,
and
that
like,
was actually my first release with another Icon graduate, Slang Dogs, if you guys are familiar with them.
It's so fire. If you haven't heard it, yeah, definitely go listen to it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I started listening to it just because like you said like your my first release is out, you should go check it out, and I was like, all right, sick.
Mhm.
And then like since
did
then
you,
I've been
like-
like really.
did you
into
like
it.
meet him or something? Like, how did you see him? Cause like I know Tribal Trap used to be the White Knife. I don't know. You guys heard he had like another YouTube channel called the White Knife, which he made mixes of, and that's how I heard of him. So I just
Oh,
found it pretty
no.
cool, like how he was featured on that channel still, like how he's still doing it.
Oh, wow.
Isn't
So
Tribal Trap
how
like a
that
label
collab
then?
came together was I basically had just was working on a track on one of the breaks. I came back and Dario is the producer in Slang Dogs, and I was like, "Hey, I'm working on this track. You know, what do you think?" He's like, "Oh, this is sick. Like, let's work on it together." And then we ended up finishing it, and I was lucky that he had the connection with Tribal Trap already, and they were asking him to send him for a new release, and they sent him that one, and they ended up liking it, and then that's kind of how the relationship started from there.
That's pretty sick.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember going to the studio one day and like hearing the like a bit of it before it was done, and it was like, oh my god, it was insane. I was like, yo, this is some fire.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy. Like I
Yeah.
love hearing like music like just before it's like anywhere near ready to be released. Because it's like
Mhm.
you can see like how far it comes along. Just before.
Yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was actually thinking of like doing a video, or I was gonna talk to Dario in Slang Dogs about like I thought it would be cool to kind of show like, oh, this is what it was before, and just hear the process of like this is what it started with, and this is what we ended
Yeah.
up with, and just to be like, whoa, so that's how far you came, or whoa, it wasn't even that different, or I don't know, the different things you hear that you add.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
All right. What about you, Jarrett? Is there anything upcoming?
Yeah, definitely. So I've got a couple different projects that I'm working on currently. There's a bunch of different EDM songs that I'm doing. I'm definitely an all around artist, so I probably have a couple of future bass tracks that are gonna be brought around on their own single EP. I have a couple more remixes that are done, and then I've got quite a few collabs actually that I'm waiting to do a release schedule with, but making sure, obviously the people I'm working with are also like it meets their schedules. And then I've actually got two personal EPs that I'm still debating whether I'm going to release it under the Pizooki brand or not. One is kind of it's called the Feel Good Chronicles, and I can't give too much away on it, but it's basically going to be an EP with like kind of, it's more hip hop based, but more like summery kind of vibe.
Oh.
Ooh.
And
I
then
see.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's actually going to be my first EP that's solely me as the vocals, the artist, the production, everything. So it's
Damn,
really
That's
you're
cool.
super
singing on all of
sick.
it too?
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah. Yo, thank you guys. It means so much. It's definitely nerve wracking putting something out. You know, like music was already nerve wracking, but now that it's like my own vocals and stuff, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, so I got that, and then I have another personal EP coming out more towards the probably not until around September, October. I can't really give a date yet, but yeah. So
All right.
Oh,
Sick.
Jarrett, you got to tell him to check out your last music video you did. Jarrett's an unbelievable dancer.
Oh
You
my!
did for his last remix. It's really
If you,
sick.
not me, the guys that I danced with they're insane. They're amazing. I mean, they're professional dancers, so they killed it. But yeah, I just released a song. If you've never heard that famous song on TikTok, I'm sure you have, Roxanne. I did a remix to that, and then we did a dance music video for it, which was super fun.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Then I'll make sure I'll put maybe like a link in the description or something when this episode goes up.
Oh, dude, that'd be huge. Thank you so much.
Dude,
Mhm.
hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
so-
my handles are just all at Pizooki as well, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, all
Sounds
right.
good.
So I think that's a good, pretty good spot to call it an episode. So everybody out there who's listening, make sure you check out G WIZZ and Pizooki. If you guys want to plug your quick handles like one more time.
Yeah, at G WIZZ Music for everything.
All right.
Mine's at Pizooki. I think the only one that's not is at Pizooki Music on Twitter, but other than that, it's always just at Pizooki.
All right. I'll try to
Awesome.
include links in the description and everything. So yeah.
And also thank all of you guys for having us on the show. It's been so
Dude,
fun.
for real.
Hell
Dude,
yeah.
thank you,
Marcus,
guys
yeah,
for coming
dude.
on.
Thank you
you
for
on
coming
the show.
on.
It's been awesome,
Dude, it was
man.
huge,
And I'm
yeah.
so glad I got to meet your friends, and hopefully we can do something in person after all this
For
is
sure.
over, and
Hell yeah.
get to all
Absolutely.
chill with you guys.
Dude,
Alright,
that would be
let's-
so sick. We definitely got to get a meetup going for sure. Yeah, thank
Pizza.
you guys so
Let's
much.
do it.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, let's call that an episode right there. So, yeah, we'll everybody who's listening, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yeah, give them a
Alright.
follow. Woo.
Yep.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.